Okay, so today we're going to talk about both parallel and perpendicular lines. So we'll start with talking about perpendicular lines. So first, the definition. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect to form four 90-degree angles. So if you take a look at the diagram here, we do have perpendicular lines because we can see the marking here. We know that that square means that the angle there, it measures 90 degrees. So because it's a linear pair with this other angle and with this other angle and with this other angle, we can see that all four of those angles measure 90 degrees. So when we have four 90-degree angles that are formed from these intersecting lines, those lines are called perpendicular. So how do we name perpendicular lines, or what's the symbol that we use? So this is the symbol that we use right here. That means perpendicular. So if I'm identifying these two lines as perpendicular, I would write that line AP is perpendicular, I'm using that symbol, to line RV. And that's how we would indicate that those two lines are perpendicular. So whenever you see the 90-degree marking, not only do we know that the angles measure 90 degrees, but we also then know that the lines that intersect to form those 90-degree angles are perpendicular. And that's how we would write that the two lines are perpendicular. Let's take a look at parallel lines. So the definition for parallel lines. Parallel lines are two straight lines that do not intersect no matter how far they extended. So we can see we do have lines here, and no matter how far, they're going to go on forever. Those two lines will never intersect. So those lines are parallel. So in figures, pairs of arrows will mean the lines are parallel. So if you're looking at this particular diagram here, we have similar to the congruent markings, except for their arrows rather than hash marks. So we have the same markings. We have double arrows on both lines, and that indicates that the two lines are parallel lines. And then the symbol that we use to show that lines are parallel is this symbol here. So this time I don't have points on these lines, but I just have the lines identified with cursive lowercase letters, which is another way we identify lines sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that line L is parallel to line M. And that's how we would write that.